continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. This is 2 Samuel chapter 20. We have just read of the rebellion of Absalom. There's a couple of chapters. David fled from Absalom. Then Absalom failed to press his advantage, leaving everything open for David. Joab slays Absalom, and David repeatedly shows himself to be failing in the administration of the kingdom. He's making very poor choices. One of the last things he did, he got angry at Joab for chastising him, and so he kicks Joab out. Joab had been the captain of the host. He kicks Joab out and named Amasa, who had been part of the rebellion, as the new commander. So let us read chapter 20. Sheba leads tribes of Israel away from David. Joab slays Amasa and pursues Sheba. A wise woman intercedes. Death of Sheba ends the insurrection. Now, before we read this, remember, because David killed Uriah, God said, because you killed Uriah with the sword of the Ammonites, the sword will never leave your house. We had Amnon forcing his sister and then being killed by Absalom. Then we have the Absalom rebellion. Now we're getting another rebellion. We just see that David's later life was completely in turmoil. So here we go. Starting, of course, in verse 1. And there happened to be there a man of Belial, whose name was Sheba, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite, and he blew a trumpet and said, We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah clave unto their king, from Jordan even to Jerusalem. Okay, one second. Another quick review, if you will recall. When David was coming back to Jerusalem, he had fled to the east side of Jordan. And when he comes back to Jordan, Judah comes up. The tribe of Judah sends their people up to escort him back to Jerusalem. And they kind of snub the rest of Israel. They only let some of the rest of Israel join the procession. And when the rest of Israel gets kind of upset at this, Judah justifies it by saying, well, he's of the tribe of Judah, so we have more right to it. And this is in response to this. We have Sheba saying, look, if Judah's going to be like this and David's going to agree with it, then David is saying he's the king of Judah, he's not the king of Israel. And so he says, forget David. And a lot of people join him because, again, this was a bad move on David's part. Verse 3. And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood. We're going to have to pause a moment on this one, too, because we've got to understand. These are the concubines that Absalom had publicly taken. He had, he didn't, make love to them in the street, but he set up a tent where everybody could see and took them into the tent, and then he followed them. He wanted everybody to know that he had taken his father's concubines. This was an act of showing that he had usurped the throne. These concubines, they weren't exactly guilty of adultery because of the circumstances, but they were no longer, according to the law of Moses, he couldn't divorce them. Because if you just divorced them, then according to the law, they could never remarry, they would never be cared for. But he couldn't reclaim them either because of what Absalom had done. And so the best he could do for them is take care of them for the rest of their lives. He had them all, they were all provided for. But he no longer had a marriage relation with them. They lived as if they were widows. Not as if they were divorced, but as if they were widows. Anyway, verse 4. Then said the king to Amasa, assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present. So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him. And David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than did Absalom. Take thou thy lord's servants, and pursue after him, lest he give him fenced cities and escape us. And there went out after him Joab's men, and the Kerethites, and the Pelethites, and all the mighty men, and they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba the son of Bichri. When they were at the great stone which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded about him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins in the sheath thereof, and as he went forth it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand, so he smote him therewith in the 5th rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai his brother pursued after Sheba the son of Bichri. Well, let's finish this story here. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, he that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field, and cast a cloth upon him, when he saw that everyone that came by him stood still. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. Now this is a somewhat disturbing story, quite honestly. And it's a little confusing, the way it's written. So we piece this together that David sent Amasa with the army. So come back and go assemble the host, be here in 3 days. But Amasa took too long, and so he sends Abishai instead. And Abishai goes out. See, Amasa went to collect the host of Judah, all the warriors. But he sends Abishai out with the elite forces, the Pelethites, the Kerethites, and the mighty men. These are David's personal guard. These are the men that have been with him from the beginning, from the time of Saul. All of these men, the Pelethites, the Kerethites, and the mighty men. This is what they are. These are his personal bodyguard, basically. And he sends Abishai with them. Joab goes too. And they're out pursuing. Amasa joins them. Now, Joab, he's got his robe girded about him, as it says, and in near the loins, or near the inner thigh, he's got a dagger strapped to his leg, but it's loosely strapped in there. And as he approaches Amasa, it falls out. In other words, he probably stumbled, causing the dagger to slide out of the sheath, and then he just picks it up, and they salute each other as you would. And Amasa, thinking Joab is an ally, thinking he is a friend, allows him to come close, even though he has the dagger in his hand. And when they get close enough, Joab kills Amasa. But he doesn't just stab him. It says he shed out his bowels to the ground. So he didn't just stab him, he kind of ripped open his stomach. Because the bowels, that's the intestines. In other words, he did enough damage in one blow that the intestines were visible. And Amasa fell down, and apparently he didn't die instantly because it says he wallowed in blood. So he wasn't, Amasa was, the wound was grotesque and caused a slow, agonizing death. And Joab went on to follow after Sheba, but he left a man there, and the man kept saying, "You guys keep following, go after Joab and Abishai are chasing Sheba. They need you. Keep going." But the people all stopped because this was a horrific scene. And so the man had to go and say, "Fine." And they take the body, they move it in the field, they cover it up so nobody can see it. And then the army marches on because there's not attracting attention anymore. It really is a gruesome event. And it shows you just Joab, as much as Amasa should not have been appointed, Joab didn't do this for the good of Israel. Joab did this so he could get his power back. I think this is very much murder, just like when Joab killed Abner. It was all murder. Anyways, verse 14. And he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel, and to Beth-Maachah, and all the Berites, and they were gathered together and went also after him. And they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth-Maachah, and they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench. And all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. So this is Sheba. They're following Sheba, the son of Bichri. He goes to Abel and barricades himself in, prepared for a siege. So there you go. Verse 16. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, say, I pray you, unto Joab, Come near hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he said, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so. But a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, hath lifted up his hand against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, Behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king. Again, a little bit gruesome in this, but I like this. The woman, they lay a siege. They dig a trench. They build up a wall against the city. They're laying in for a long, extended siege. And the woman sends a message to Joab. They have their conference, and she's, Look, I'm faithful. I'm loyal to David. A lot of people here are. And I like that saying, in old times they shall surely ask counsel at Abel. In other words, this was a place of judgment. This was a place of great wisdom. He said, why do you want to destroy the city? Why are you doing this? And Job's like, I don't want to destroy anything. I just want Sheba. And she says, okay, we'll send them out. And so she goes to the people and talks to the people and says, look, these guys are going to destroy the city if we don't get rid of this guy. And so they chop off his head and throw it over the wall. Anyways, verse 23. Now Joab was over all the host of Israel, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada was over the Kerethites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat the son of Ahilud was recorder, and Sheva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests, and Ira also the Jerite was a chief ruler about David. So that last one is just kind of listing the top officers in David's court. Anyways, very gruesome story. And, as much as I say, David should not have appointed Amasa in Joab's stead, but what Joab did was just, I believe it was murder. And I'm going to leave that here, and I will see you in the next one.